Hey, good morning. We'll get started. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. We're glad you were able to come and listen to our webinar about the demographic overlay, and hopefully we can give you some useful information and tips to go forward with the report. Let's see. Thanks. I just want to take a quick moment here to introduce our team. Maria Harris is our Executive Director of Accountability. I'm sure many of you guys have probably spoken to a couple of us over the last few months. Myself, I'm Misty Argarwal. I'm the Assistant Executive Director of Accountability, and I'll be presenting this report today. And then we have Alyssa Griggs. She's our Accountability Data Specialist. James Sharp, our Director of Data Management. And then we have Lakeisha Simon. She's our Senior Education Data Analyst, and she works with the Office of Data and Information Systems. So the Demographic Overlay Report. It opened on March 18th. Of course, we had to do it during spring break, give you a little surprise when you came back. So, surprise. So what is the Demographic Overlay Report? It certifies the student demographics for use as assessment and accountability reporting. This report is used for multiple purposes on our end. One of the big purposes for it is to provide assessment vendors the information for assessments. And then we also use it for all of our indicators for the report card for the demographics. This report is populated actually on your side first through the student information system, so PowerSchool, your math, any of the vendors that you're using, and then it's sent over to the Wave where it's updated on a nightly basis. Okay. We're having some clicking issues over here. Okay. So the demographic overlay timeline is something we really want to pay close attention to. It did open March 18th, but we've given plenty of time for you to review the report. We're going to take the final snapshot, though, of the report on April 29th. That will be supplied to the vendors for assessment information, and so you want to make sure you have all of your updates and views and make sure any of the errors or questions that you've had at that point is done by April 29th, because at that point, we'll take a final snapshot, and that is what will be sent over. So any kind of updates that you'd want to do for those students prior to that, you'd want to have done by April 29th. So between March 26th and April 29th, districts should review the data to ensure that the correct demographic values are being sent to the Wave for the testing grades, so 3rd through 8th grade. With those, you're going to want to make sure, and then also 11th grade. Please make sure that the data for those students and the testing grades are accurate prior to the 29th, and then that report will remain open after the 29th, but the snapshot we use on that date is what will be used for your student assessments. So whatever is showing on the 29th is what will be there. Okay. So how do we access this report? Of course, we go through the single sign-on. The report is through the Wave, so you would log into your single sign-on. You would click on Reporting, and then you would go to your State Reporting Certification tab. After that, you would click on Demographic Overlay. And at that point, you should be able to open it up and start viewing your students' data. Another important thing to look at is when you are reviewing this report, it has to be confirmed by the school principal, but certified by the superintendent. Okay, so this data, it comes from your local student information system. As such, if the information is showing correctly in your student information system, it should be translating to the Wave properly, so there should be no errors in your data, technically. If there are disparities between the report and your local SIS at that point, you would want to contact your vendor to see if there's a translation error that's occurring. Okay. There are some common errors that do occur whenever you open up the demographic overlay, some things that you're really going to want to pay attention to this year. A couple of those is with EL. If your EL students who did not exit through the band or did not auto-exit, they should still be marked as EL. So we want to go through and make sure we're filtering and showing all those who did not exit are still showing as ELs. Also, EL students who exited through the band or auto-exited in the school year 2018, they should be marked as EL first-year proficient in this report. Another EL question that we'd want to point out is if EL students who are marked as EL first-year proficient for 2018, they would be moved over to second-year proficient for this year. And then a big one that I really want to point on, and I'll probably say it a couple of times throughout this, is if you're wanting to add any teacher information, teacher name, to the demographic overlay, do not do this until you have looked through the report, made all your corrections, and are about to hit confirm. At that point is when you would want to add your teacher information. If you do it at any point before that, you'll lock your report and we'll have a mess on our end and your end, and it won't be fun. So don't do that. So wait until the very end, please. Okay. It is not required, but if some districts do want to do it, they have that option to add the teacher name. We've had a lot of questions about that. And so you can do it, just wait till the very end when you're about to confirm it. Also, we do want to mention that IEP and 504 status is pulled from Ed Plans, and all the foster care information is pulled from DHS, so that information won't be populated on the demographic overlay. If we don't answer some of the questions or I'm not picking up on some, we also will have all of our FAQs, answers, questions, guidance, our technical guides will be posted to our website, our accountability tab, and you'll see all of those. And I posted them where it says new information, so it's at the very top of our page. And then, of course, this recording will be available to you by Friday. Okay, so some questions about how do I fix my data. So we give you the report. Now how do we go about changing things, fixing it, reporting? Of course, if there's ever questions and you get stuck somewhere, you can always call our office. We're always available to try to answer questions by phone or email. You can try sending smoke signals, but you know, on a windy day we might not see those. This report is a current view of the demographics sent by your student information system. So everything that's reported in the demographic overlay is what you've already been posting into your SIS. So corrections have to be made through your SIS for us to see any updates on the wave. So every 24 hours, every night, it's updated. So anything you're putting in your SIS during this time is going to be updated in the wave. You'll want to look at your wizard in the wave, and it'll show you like columns under finding missing students. There will be data validation wizard, your STN wizard, and your ownership wizard, and those will show up in blue, and then next to it will have a red number if there are any issues. So they'll point out a specific issue that must be resolved. Oh, sorry, not red, they're yellow, although red's a better color, but we'll go with yellow. Okay, so a couple little quick fixes that can be done. If a student is showing they have an issue on the wizard, this points to a specific issue in the data. So a couple examples that we have seen is that generally the data is missing. So EL information was never entered or it wasn't sent, and so that would need to be put in correctly. Or a birth date could be, really off, saying, they were born in 2020. Well, if they're in 4th grade, that's probably not the case. So you're going to want to go in there and correct that. An STN wizard issue generally means an issue with a student STN assignment. So that means that student is highly 78% matched to another one. So another 2 children could have the same STN. So you would want to go a little bit deeper in to verify if that child was either entered twice or if someone was giving a different STN. And at that point, you would have to call us probably, and we would have to look a little bit deeper into that. And you would probably actually want to contact the Office of Student Information, and then they could do a little bit more digging for you. Okay. Also, I want to mention that the ownership wizard error generally means more than one school is claiming the student and membership over the same time period. And so we'd want to make sure that, all the kids that are showing up in your demographic overlay are your students and are in membership in your school. Okay, a couple other issues. The wizard, a student may not have any issues in a wizard, but still require correction. So this can happen. So you're going to want to go through all of your information and your demographic overlay report. Even if the wizard shows that there are no required corrections, it's good to just do a review of those. A couple examples that we have seen over the past years is if a student has a basis of admission code that does not indicate the student is in membership. For example, if they're co-op or they're non-resident students, they will not populate in the report. Also, a student cannot be in find missing students, but have the incorrect race, ethnicity, or economically disadvantaged status. So you're going to want to check those statuses since they are very important for use in our report card indicators, and we want to make sure we are accurately reflecting that information as well. Okay. So a little bit of report navigation. So this is a lovely picture of the wave. I'm sure you've all seen it. So you would get into your single sign-on, you would log in, you would get into your portal, and then you're going to go up to the reporting tab, and then you would click on the reporting certification. And then from there, it would go down to the demographic overlay, and it would show open whenever it was time for that report. So that's what you would click on. And then from there, it would show you the screen for where you would look up your student information. I would recommend that you start with going to find missing students, and then from there, checking the data and seeing if it's correct or not for validation errors. You can go further down where it will show the student information number or the student testing number, the school ID, your local ID number, and then it's going to show the student's first and last name, and then their birth dates to make sure that there's no wonky birth dates in there. You could go to the filter and it would show you different dates on. Also, gender is important, the grade that they're in, so to make sure that they're in the correct testing grade is something that you're going to want to pay close attention to. And again, that's April 29th is when we will be doing that last screenshot that we will send to the assessment vendors. So we're going to really want to be checking this before then to have it finalized. And then you'll also go down to where it says Ownership Wizard. This shows where the students are, if they had any issues or not, you would click on that, and if it has issue, it's going to show you exactly what that issue is and how to fix it. Okay. Okay. So once you've resolved your missing students, you'll return to the pre-populated data to ensure the student demographics are displaying correctly. And so you can filter out the demographics by economic disadvantage, if they're American Indian, Asian, Hispanic, and kind of see if they are coming out the same as what you've been reporting in your local SIS throughout the year. Again, if they're correct in your SIS, or your SIS, then they should be going into the wave correctly. If not, then again, you'd want to reach out to your vendor and see if there's a translation error that's occurring. Again, one thing we have had a question about is why is ELA, math, or science columns if they're not showing correctly in the test type. That is something that does not need to be worried about in the demographic overlay because it's already been addressed in the pre-code. So you've certified it previously in your pre-code, and so it doesn't have to be addressed again in the demographic overlay. And just a reminder, you can add a teacher name and information. It is optional, but please do not attempt to do it until you are ready to confirm this report and you have gone through every, little niche with a fine-tooth comb to make sure everything is correct before you've confirmed it. Okay. So where can you get help? Our office is, always available to answer questions and assist you with any kind of data questions or information you're needing. Also, the Office of Student Information is available for questions. You can always email us or call us. Our contact information is right here on the presentation and also on our website. Just another important date is that, I keep drilling it, but April 29th is really when we would like to have everyone have their information updated and correct. The report is available for view until June 30th, but anything after the 29th will not be reflected in your assessment information for your students. We do have a couple just little quick info that we want to put out there. There will be some upcoming webinars. We do have the Post-Secondary Opportunities Report that will be opening in April along with the SMART Report, and so there will be more resources available for those two reports along with probably another webinar. I will get all of the resources and this PowerPoint up on our website by Friday is my goal. And then, of course, we have FAQs, technical assistance manual. All of that is available on our website. And then another reminder, about 2-3 weeks ago, right before spring break, we sent out an email to the districts asking for a point of contact. It was a Google form. We have gotten really great responses, but we are still needing everyone to respond to that. So if you've had that email and you just didn't get a chance to send us a contact information, please send us that point of contact, because that is who we will be reaching out to for further webinars, technical assistance. If you have questions or we have questions about your data, that's that person we're going to try to go to. Because currently we have about 2,500, 3,000 people that we send emails out to, and everybody gets busy, and sometimes you just assume your partner or the guy next door checked the email, and so it's really important that we have that point of contact. Okay, the report does need to be certified, or you need to report the have it certified by April 29th. If you would,
They don't have to certify until June 30th.
Right. So April 29th, I'm answering your question. Sorry about that. April 29th is when we're going to do the snapshot. So anything on that snapshot is what's going to go to the assessment vendors. Technically, you have until June 30th to certify the report. It's just anything that happens after that 29th of April snapshot won't be reflected on the assessment vendor information. Mm-hmm. Oh, yes. And we can resend. There was a question about the district contact information. We can resend out that invite for you to fill out that form. As a reminder, we'll do that. Yes. So we had a question about the PowerPoint being available on Friday. It will be posted to our accountability website. It's our sde.ok.gov website, and you would just click on our accountability tab, and it will be posted in our new information file.
Superintendent got the request. The superintendent got the request.
Mm-hmm. So whenever we sent out that point of contact, we sent them out actually to the superintendents of all superintendents, and so they would have gotten that email, and they would be the ones that would need to be picking that point of contact for the.
We'll resend it today.
Yeah, but we will be resending it out today, just as a reminder to everyone. Okay. I appreciate everybody for joining us, and hopefully we answered some questions you had and were able to tell you about the demographic overlay. Thank you, everybody, for joining us.